I need to tweet the
We're
link
back.
on moms.
And we're back, and we 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 back.
Are we on?
Yes, we are on.
Okay, just to clarify, because that was a Chance the Rapper reference, The Big Day is the worst hip-hop album of the year.
All right, let's not get into that. We have a lot bigger fish to fry.
All right,
So that's
fry the
fish
fish,
and fried.
John.
All right, let's do it.
John, start frying the fish and get right into it.
All right, well, we were talking about Tennessee last time before we had a just terrible blow-up.
Before we got nuked.
We got nuked. Said, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma for the playoff. Jackson said Notre Dame instead of Georgia. Not much substance there.
And I said Ohio State instead of Oklahoma.
You said Ohio State.
That's fair. That's fair. But
Michigan
Big 12 and Big
sneaks their way in.
Oh, please.
Harbaugh ain't doing that.
They're still not better than Ohio State.
All right, I'm going to name you the top 15 teams, and you're going to tell me if they have a realistic chance or if it's a long shot.
Most of these are going to be long shots.
Most of these are... Everything that's not Alabama and Clemson is probably...
So we're going to skip Bama and Clemson.
Yeah, they're locks pretty much.
Georgia.
Highly reasonable to make it.
Here.
Yeah, it is definitely highly reasonable.
We have playoff contenders and then championship contenders.
Okay.
Championship contenders still.
I would give them championship. I think they have a good enough team.
Oklahoma.
I mean, they almost beat championship contender, but it's a very big line.
I would say playoff contender. I don't think they're good enough.
I think that they could go off on offense maybe just enough to sneak.
I mean, they were... What?
They're beating Houston 31-10 right now. When you have what's his name?
Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
There we go.
That would be interesting. Jalen Hurts versus Bama, I gotta say.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, but I feel like if you thought Oklahoma's offense could carry them, the year would have been last year or the year before. Like, they're not as good offensively this year.
But you have to wonder how good their defense
could be. What about Ohio State?
I'm honestly going to say they're probably a championship contender. I think.
Are you serious? With Justin Fields and what's his name, Ryan Day?
I don't know enough about Iowa State. I'll say
John,
playoff contender.
Ohio,
I know. I'm not Iowa State. They almost lost to UNI.
I was about to say, Jesus. Yeah, Ryan
You
Day.
want in a quarterback. He's a good pocket passer, and he's got mobility. It's
for Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields is definitely good enough to get that team into the playoffs and contend.
What about LSU?
I would say
nope.
That's a long shot.
I would say they're not going to make anything. They'll make a bowl, but not. Yeah, they're not going to make it.
No conference championship game, nothing like that.
The SEC West is too brutal. They're good, but not.
They're like an 8-9 team. I am team 8-game playoff, but that's just me.
Yeah, that'd be way more fun.
And if you aren't, I don't know what your reasoning is.
I think you just get rid of like the stupid week ones that we play, and then.
Well, you can't get rid of that if you're Mizzou.
You can even do that. You can just extend the year one more game. Like they can have a. Playoffs.
You could. I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
All right. So LSU. What are we feeling?
No. Long shot.
No? Okay. Michigan.
Long shot.
Florida.
No chance. No chance.
Oh, Notre Dame.
They're playoff contender.
Really? I don't see that.
Playoff, they can't... You mean to tell me that there's no chance Notre Dame makes playoffs?
When they lose to Georgia, they're going all the way down in the rankings.
I mean, they don't have something to bring them back up, but they could beat Georgia. Like,
and I know that Notre Dame has to play Georgia, but if they can beat Georgia, then they are pretty much a lock because they'll beat everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So the contender, like what?
Yeah, they have one game they have to win in the regular season. Really.
Well, they got to win all, but they have.
Well, I mean, they do.
They have one statement game that they have to win.
They have to win all of them.
They really only have to ball out in one game.
All right. I'm not going to really name the rest of the teams, but who's your long shot to make the playoffs? Mine is Texas A&M.
Texas.
And
wow.
Jackson
did me saying Texas just make Jackson leave?
It's my internet's bugging, bro.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just really upset that I said Texas is my long shot.
I didn't even hear you say that. So.
I mean, look, and that's outside of saying, like, I'm not saying they're more likely than Ohio State or Oklahoma or really Michigan for that matter, but they're my long shot.
Yeah, I mean, any team with that good of a quarterback could contend.
Also, like, they just have to beat Oklahoma, so, I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
They would have to take them twice, but I don't know. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that they have a legitimate shot to do it.
What are the odds do you guys think that 2 SEC teams get in?
50%. 50%.
I think I mean, Bama's a lock. Like,
Are they, though?
They could probably lose. They could probably lose a game and still get in.
Do they play A&M?
They do, I think, but like, you don't think A&M schedule's brutal. You think about it. Bama got in the playoffs. I think was it 2 years when they won the national title.
Bama has to play.
Yeah, when they were the 4 seed, they got in because they were the 4 seed. They had 2 losses, I think, maybe 3, but they had definitely 2, and the committee still let them in. So
Texas A&M, LSU, and Auburn.
We can.
If you lose 2 of those games,
let's move on. Come on.
Alabama's a better team than all those teams, though. Like, even if they have a hiccup, the rest of those teams aren't going to have as good as a regular season.
All right, John, if you want to move on, then you talk about the next topic.
Okay, well, the next topic, it's inevitable, right?
Yeah, let's get through it.
Let's just do it. Kelly Bryant, most disappointing debut performance in Mizzou history. I think we can all say.
No, I think Michael Porter takes that. Michael Porter definitely takes that. Playing 2 minutes football. And then leaving. Yeah, football.
But even then, like, the performance at the time, we didn't know that was it. We all thought it was just a little precautionary. It was.
We're playing. We're not playing a good team, and then
we're trying to give everybody minutes. Like, we're gonna gel the team,
and then
doesn't travel to Utah, and they drop the bomb on us.
Yep.
And then when he comes back, he's awful and costs us a chance at a round of 32. Not to mention Jordan Barnett, who is my least favorite Mizzou player of all time.
Jordan Barnett's an alcoholic.
We're already hurting, all right? We don't have to continue. We don't have to talk about this.
We're going to talk about this anyway.
We'll talk about the football, but the basketball, that's a whole nother hurt. Like, we got to stop that.
Mizzou in general, Mizzou football.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pissing joke. I literally yesterday, like, was a little nervous it was going to happen, but I had confidence that they weren't going to lose that game.
Yeah, I was like, and maybe it'll be slightly close, but, like, we'll
Yeah. And then, like, we got up 14-0, I was like, all right, like, this is exactly how I hoped we'd play. And then that second quarter, I mean, that was tragic what happened. I mean, 27-3, like, that was piss poor execution out of everyone. Nobody on that team was innocent for that. And then they come out in the third quarter and they drive the ball all the way down the fucking field and get inside the 5-yard line.
Jesus.
And Kelly Bryant throws a stupid goddamn interception. Oh my god. I went back and watched it. I wanted to fucking slap him.
Bro, like, Kelly Bryant cost us
it was so stupid. And then they go down and score, which this pisses me off the most. We have a defensive-minded head coach in Barry Odom. We never adjusted once in that game yesterday. I went back and watched it.
Fourth quarter.
Barely. We were rushing 3 for too damn long. And they just kept running the ball down our pissing throat. They were just 10 yards, 75-yard touchdown, boom, right down your throat. And they only threw for like 50 yards all game, and we still couldn't stop them. They were one-dimensional. I mean, that just adds to the embarrassment. And then in the fourth quarter, we're like, all right, let's pretend it's November, and let's actually start trying. And what do you know?
We scored. I mean, fourth quarter,
killing them. And then, of course, that last drive comes up a little short because Kelly Bryant refuses to be mobile. So
Thomas Hand, LOL. Thomas, would you like to come join?
No,
I mean,
no.
He's gonna come in and say like Kansas has a better record than Mizzou.
Also, siren about Kansas. Pookie Williams beat his girlfriend and got a 1-game suspension. He fits right in at Kansas. Fits right in at Kansas.
Hey, to be fair, Tyreek Hill probably beat his. Tyreek Hill probably beat his kid, and he didn't get anything. So
yeah,
I mean.
It's different. But here's the thing, Tyreek Hill, it's not even proven that he did it. Like, Pookie Williams admitted to it. Like, what? Like, and then it's just like, don't worry, man, it's 1 game. You don't get to play against Southern Indiana. Like, it's gonna be fine. What?
Hey, they almost lost that. They almost lost that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They actually but we can't even talk. We lost to pissing Wyoming. Like, This is tragic. I had so much excitement for this season, and then we come out first game of the season and lose to Wyoming.
It could be worse. So we could have a coach that wears his championship ring from another team on the sideline during the game.
Hey,
at least we'd have a championship coach.
We don't.
I said at least we would.
Oh.
Josh. Okay. Josh is no longer allowed to talk. And on side note, if any of you follow a man by the name of Gabe the Armand on Twitter, you should unfollow him immediately because that man is blind. He is the most unqualified journalist to ever walk on this godforsaken earth.
I honestly don't know who you're talking about, to be completely honest.
Thomas said I can be on. I won't talk about KU.
Well, hello, Matt.
For Chiefs.
Is Matt on?
No.
Why'd you say hello, Matt? What the heck happened? We lost John.
Yeah. Oh.
Well.
Oh.
Anyways.
His brother's name's Matt.
Oh. Well, I was like, what? Anyways. Yeah. I mean, Josh, do you have any thoughts on the Mizzou game? And I mean, because I pretty much painted the picture.
Well, I do have something to say. Wyoming is. Let me see. Just trying to find out what their FPI rank is.
Okay, but the bottom line is, regardless, even if they're not a complete shit show of a school, they still have no business beating Missouri.
They're the...
What did I just hear?
Me making noises. Anyway, no, Mizzou really sucked. Now they got... I think this lights a fire under what.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. I hopefully it does.
Georgia, you have SEC game day coming down to Columbia. Go show out in that Mizzou it was just a hiccup for Kelly Bryant. And I really hope it was, or else we're screwed.
Yeah, Josh, I'll be right back. I got to take a fat piss. I'll be right back.
Okay, wow.
Talk about college football.
Yeah, sports. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I don't really know what to talk about, guys. All I gotta say is I think the Kentucky loss was way worse than Wyoming. Even though Kentucky was good, I don't think it was as bad as the Wyoming loss. Because if you lose to Wyoming, yeah, you lose to Wyoming, but I think Wyoming's not as bad as everyone thinks they are. But yes, we are waiting for Jackson to come back. I promise he will be back, hopefully, or else this is gonna be kind of awkward. But
all right, I have returned.
All right.
Josh, did you hold down before while I was gone? What were we talking? What were you talking about?
Not really.
Not really. What the piss? All right, never mind.
We have officially lost John, by the way.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, throughout college football, there was really no. I mean, Auburn beating Oregon was kind of funny, but
in the last second.
Yeah, and if that defensive back just turns a stupid head, then he's gonna get an interception. But it just doesn't happen. But yeah, I think overall, week 1 of the college football season isn't that exciting.
Oh, John's back on.
Not a lot of good matchups. So I think college football stuff, leave it alone for right now. I'm pissed. If you're a K-State fan, you're happy. If you're a KU fan, you're probably happy. If you're an Arkansas fan, you probably shouldn't be happy, but you did win. If you're an Iowa State fan, you got taken to triple overtime by Northern Iowa. And if you're an Iowa fan, you should be happy too. And if you're a Nebraska fan, then screw you. All right. I think I covered everything there. Let's move on to the National Football League. The Chiefs signed Shady McCoy yesterday after he got cut by the Buffalo Bills to a 1-year, $4 million deal. $3 million of it is guaranteed. Josh, what do you think of the move? Do you think that this made this team even scarier? Wasn't needed. All right.
Not needed.
Go into
Chiefs
depth.
have Williams, but what I do think it helps is Melvin Gordon has been granted a demand for a trade. And since the Chargers didn't get him, they don't have a running back really. But according to Phillip Rivers, they do. Because he said we were deep in the running back.
Austin Eckler. Yeah, get the hell.
Exactly. point proven.
But I will say this: I think McCoy. We're gonna look back. He was needed. I don't think at least we had a good running game, and
Williams
I'm still not.
Did pretty darn good in the playoffs, if you ask me.
Williams' best career season, which I know he hasn't gotten the best opportunities, but his best career season, he ran for like 400 yards. So it's not like we've.
Well,
but what I'm trying to say is, it's not like we've seen this guy do it through a consistent basis through 16 weeks, because he's never done that. Here's the other thing: this just made the team way deeper.
Yes.
And that was absolutely needed. I mean, if obviously hope it didn't happen, but if one of our running backs went down before we got McCoy, we had nobody. It would have been bad.
Nah, we had Thornwell, or not Thornwell. Sorry,
Thompson. Okay, but if you were to lose, let's say Damian Williams, then your running back core would be Darwin Thompson, Darrell Williams, and Tremont Smith. That would be the worst running back core in the NFL
Who's the
by
starting
far.
running back then?
Well, right now the starting running back is going to be LaShawn McCoy.
McCoy is better than Williams. All we did was improve, even though Williams was good, though. Thomas said.
McCoy is better than Williams. All we did was improve, even though Williams was good. Yeah, I mean, I think that.
Oh no,
Williams. What's up?
Kevin Hurt got hurt, and oh my god,
Kevin Hart.
Holy crap! How is he alive? He has major back problems.
Who even pissing? That isn't sports. Who cares?
I'm sorry.
I mean, best wishes go out to Kevin Hart, but
doesn't sound like it.
Well, this is a sports podcast. No one wants to hear about Kevin Hart. All right, but anyways, so you say it's not needed. I disagree. I'd say it was needed. I think we still have a below-average running game, but it is definitely better that we have a good passing game. That really helps. But I think we'll make it work. But I think having LaShawn McCoy, we're going to look back on and say, damn, where would we be if we didn't get him? So the next thing up is the preseason is finally over. Roster cuts are finally done. Other than LaShawn McCoy, because that was pretty shocking, is there another guy around the league that kind of you were surprised got released?
Not released, but I was surprised on how many moves the Dolphins and Texans made.
Yeah, that was definitely substantial.
Jadeveon Clowney, gone.
That return was so terrible.
Did you see what the Dolphins rejected?
For Clowney?
Yeah.
Well, Clowney said no, he was not going to play in Miami, so they really had no choice. But yeah, Miami apparently had a good offer.
It was a first-round pick and Larry Tunsil for.
I mean, this deal was crazy. They gave up Tunsil and Stills for 2 firsts and a second.
And they trade Kiko Alonso
to the Saints for Vince Beigel or Beigel, how the heck you say his name.
It is tank season.
Oh yeah, it is 100% tank season.
And the Dolphins will still beat the Patriots at home somehow.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't even blame them for tanking because they've been stuck in purgatory between not competing and competing for so long. Tannehill, that entire Tannehill era, they had just been so painfully average that now they're like, all right, screw it. We're just going to break it down, rebuild it. And props to them for doing that because they could have easily kept Adam Gase and kept Ryan Tannehill and tried it again and said, well, Tannehill wasn't healthy, but they've taken steps forward. This year's going to suck. Next year's probably going to suck. They're probably going to end up with a guy like Tua Tagovailoa or Trevor Lawrence or maybe Jake Fromm or, who knows. But they're going to probably end up with a top quarterback, and they'll just have to see if it works. The guy I feel bad for is Josh Rosen because that guy has been put in the worst spot as a starter, as a rookie ever. In Arizona, terrible team, worst team in the league. And yes, he wasn't great, but that's just the situation at hand. I mean, it was a horrible team, terrible coach, 2 different offensive coordinators. Then he gets shipped to Miami, and this is probably the worst team the NFL has seen since the 0-16 Browns. So I feel really bad for Rosen.
All
right, so we'll talk a lot about NFL on Wednesday night. If you guys
will
come
do our game predictions Wednesday.
Game predictions. We'll probably do that every Wednesday this season. Yeah, we'll switch
either
things
Wednesday
up.
Or Saturday because I kind of want to do college football.
But after this, going away from football since nothing has really happened yet, regular season wise, just a lot of moves. Baseball, we haven't gotten to talk about that a lot. The Royals are finally something interesting to talk about because owner David Glass
call-ups are coming up soon.
Yeah, that too. But David Glass has sold the team to is it John Sherman? Is that his name?
Yes.
John Sherman for $1 billion. $1 billion. Yes.
Billion with a B.
Yeah, that is hard to believe that a 49-89 team can sell for $1 billion, but that's what a World Series gets you. When David Glass bought the team back in 2000, he bought it for $96 million to put things into perspective. So you take the success we've had recently along with inflation, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. Sherman, a guy who grew up in Kansas City, so if you're worried about relocation, I wouldn't.
He's willing to put money into the
and maybe we'll spend more money, but also while we're talking about it, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Royals this time. Jorge Soler is 1 home run away from breaking the record for most home runs in a single season by a Royal. He's tied for it right now with Mike Moustakas at 38. If, let's say, I think we would all agree Soler had a productive season this year. He did a good job. If he were to have a good season next season, would you say that the Wade Davis trade was worth it?
Wait, we have him for next year?
Yeah, he's on the roster next year.
I thought he was a free agent this year.
He's a free agent after 2020.
Oh, shoot. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a better trade already.
You really do.
What good would Wade Davis be doing to us right now? Saving every other 5 games?
That's not the point, though.
I think it is.
No, he would have been on... Having Wade Davis on the 2017 team would have helped that team out way more. I mean, they could have used him so much. I mean, think about it. When we traded Wade Davis, that we should have just said, all right, screw the future. Or no, screw right now. We're trading everybody. We're getting better for the future. Because that's what that trade was. Soler wasn't even close to ready to play at a major league level. And he had in the past, but he wasn't ready. You traded away probably the best reliever in all of baseball. So at that point, you're basically saying, all right, we're going to take a guy that's developing and that we hope can become a really good power hitter one day instead of a guy that's already good. So in your mind, just hearing that, you're thinking, all right, this team is obviously not going to, they're done competing. They're trying to build for the future. But then we hang on to Hosmer, Moose, Kane, and Escobar at the deadline. And it's just like, make up your mind. Like, are we going to compete or not? Like, you have to do that. So that's my biggest gripe with it. I think, for sure, if we would have gone all out and just said, all right, screw it, we had a chance, we're going to trade everybody, I'd be much more accepting of the Wade Davis trade. But honestly, I feel like it was just a wasted trade because, even if Soler's good next year, we're not going to be good next year. And then he leaves, and then, what good did it do you to have a guy? You just had a good power hitter while your team was rebuilding. I would say that right now, Soler's a better player than Wade Davis, yes, but that's not really the point.
All right.
Would you agree with that? That like we should have traded Hosmer and Moose and all them at the deadline in 2017?
No.
Really? Why not?
One, we traded Moose the next year, got Brett Phillips and Jorge Lopez.
That was an awful return.
Brett Phillips, I don't know about. Jorge
okay,
Lopez,
but
yes.
To put things into perspective, you would have gotten much more at the deadline in 2017. Don't know that, but I would assume you would have gotten more.
Agree.
So, Hosmer, holy hell, you could have gotten a lot for Hosmer. And the thing is that they were like, well, we were around 500, so we didn't know if we were going to compete.
And that team 81 and 81.
That team was so painfully average. It just was like
hard to watch. Yes, I know.
It was just like, how can you expect this team to go on a run? Like, yes, they've done it before, but it's like, man, this team is not good enough to compete for a World Series. They should have traded the guys then. Instead, we lost Hosmer and Kane and Escobar for nothing, even though Escobar came back the next year. But you know what I'm saying? We never got anything out of him.
Escobar. Okay, I was like, wait, Kane left that year.
No, yeah, Kane left. But, it's not even that I'm mad that we didn't retain them. I'm just mad that we didn't. If we knew we weren't going to get them back, which I'm pretty sure they had a good idea they could not get all of them back, why did we hang on to all of them? It blows my mind to this day. Dayton Moore I feel like made an emotional decision over a business decision when it came to that, and it ended up biting us in the ass.
Dang, Jackson's just going all in today.
Well, it's the truth, all right? And, it sucks that this team is so terrible, but to be honest with...
Thomas says.
But, yeah. Honestly, like, I don't even know. The Royals are a mess. Just thought I'd bring it up that they're going to get bought. Hopefully this guy, Sherman, can actually spend some money and not suck, but who knows? We've always been a cheap organization, and we'll probably continue to be one.
But not as cheap.
Hopefully not as cheap. Well, hopefully we just spend our money smarter, because Gordon Kennedy kind of handicapped us. So honestly...
gone after this year.
Honestly, dude, I know that would be what we want, and I know that...
If we sign him to a...
But I think it is possible that they would sign him to a 2-year deal.
For how much?
I don't think it's I don't know the exact number, but here's the thing. There's a club option for this upcoming season after this for Gordon, and it's for $23 million.
No.
They most certainly are going to decline that. There's no doubt. But with that, if they do decline that, it's a $4 million buyout. So we're paying them $4 million already. I feel as if the team is going to be like, because we don't have an outfielder that's ready right now. We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, right now your outfield is Gordon. Bonifacio, he's not a part of the future. That dude, he's okay. I mean, nothing special about him. And then Phillips is decent. I like Nick Heath. I mean, I don't think he'd be ready either. But I'm saying, like, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you re-signed him for 1 year. It would or 2 years, but because I think you're in a situation where you don't have a clear and obvious guy that's ready to take over. But I'm with you. I'd be fine with seeing him go. This being his last month ever in the MLB, I think that would be my hope. But we'll see. Out of all the free agents, and I don't know if you know, but of all the MLB free agents coming up this offseason, do you think the Royals could splash any big ones, or should they? Some of the names are Garrett Cole, Anthony Rendon, J.D. Marcell Ozuna, Bumgarner, Josh Donaldson. That would fill the void in left field.
That's the best one.
But I don't think he would come here because we suck. Dude, if we got Garrett Cole...
we wouldn't.
No, there's no way. But or Bumgarner, I would forgive him.
Oh my
Cole
God,
Hamels.
I still hate Bumgarner.
Yasiel Puig, Dylan Betances, Jose Abreu.
We would sign Puig. We would spend all our money on
it would not shock me, but I don't think Puig wants to come to a terrible team. That's just my take. But, I mean, it's hard to have a worse offseason than we just did. I mean, we literally just got Chris Owens.
$9 million and we just wasted.
We wasted so much money in this. Well, not so much, but you know what I'm saying. Like, we wasted so much money in standards of the Chris Owens, Willie Peralta, Brad Boxberger, Jake Diekman, Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey actually did well here, and I'm not. I was a big
prospects.
I was a huge hater on him, and I still don't like the guy that much. But he got us Kevin Morrell, who's probably never going to become a great player, but it's better than nothing. So, and I got no complaints with how he did. Diekman got us a couple guys, but Owens, Peralta, Boxberger, those guys, what a waste! What a terrible waste of money. I know it's just all negative right now, but that's all there is to really say about the Royals. It's just been a lot of negative times recently. But we were talking about this off stream and off podcast on Snapchat earlier about when the Royals make the playoffs next. John, even though he's not here, he said 2025 is when he expects the team to get back to. Josh, when do you expect to see the Royals back in the postseason?
2021, 2022.
So either of those years, which year would you say is more likely?
2022.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty. I think that's a consensus around Kansas City. Is the team's probably not going to get back until at least.
We win 80 games next year. 75 to 80.
Come on. You said the same thing last year.
75
you were
80.
saying the same stuff. You were saying the same stuff last year.
Well, and I definitely don't see them losing 100 games again.
I mean, here's the thing. Where are they going to get significantly better next season? That's my question. Because
Pitching?
I mean, but what pitcher is going to play next year that's going to make us significantly better? As my biggest thing.
Zach
it's like,
Wheeler.
You think we're going to go get Zach Wheeler?
Cole Hamels.
I'd love to go get those guys, but I really doubt that. Yeah, this would be in an This would be in an alternate reality.
Rick Porcello. I could see us getting Rick Porcello.
The thing is, like, I'm sure that Sherman would be willing to give some, but no player wants to play in Kansas City. It's a terrible team, and it's not that big of a city. I mean, personally, we love it because we live here in Kansas City. Don't come kill us if you're listening. Any serial killers, LOL. But yeah, players don't really want to play here, and that was kind of evident with Hosmer and Kane. I mean, that's just the way it kind of is. Like, if I got an offer to play in San Diego, I'd probably play there too. It's a nicer place, you know? Jesus, that was loud.
Excuse me, sorry guys.
That scared the bejeevers out of me. Bejeever scare. All right, so is there anything else noteworthy that in sports that I'm not talking about? Because I feel like there could be.
No, Wednesday night is going to be
the hurricane down in near Florida. It's been kind of talked about that the Chiefs and Jaguars might have to play at a different location.
They won't.
They probably won't. Jacksonville being Northern Florida. Team USA basketball is getting ready to,
They already won.
Who'd they play?
I don't know, but they won 85 to 66.
They've USA basketball versus Czech Republic score. Takeaways, Americans tip off. Okay, so we did play our 88-67. All right. So they did win one game. Yay, we're not going to be absolute trash, but I guarantee you we're not going to win gold. I mean, Justin Verlander threw his third career no-hitter today. I think that adds to the legacy of an already first ballot Hall of Famer. Jadeveon Clowney getting traded. We talked about that.
We're just getting ready for Wednesday night. Once Wednesday night comes around, guys, that's the start of football season.
I will ask this before we move on and before we go off. As of right now, through week 1 of college football, Louisville and they still have to play. But through 1 week of college football, who do you think is going to win the Heisman Trophy? Be fun to look back at this.
The obvious answer is Trevor Lawrence, but it's not going to be him.
I mean, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence, he didn't have that great of a week.
It will be Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, that is a bold one. All right. Well, I've already praised him a lot tonight, and I'm going to continue to do it. I think the Heisman's going to be Justin Fields this year. I think he's in a great position to do it, and I think he gets it done. Also, I think Justin Herbert is very overhyped and not going to be that good in the NFL.
I agree.
I watched the game last night, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, what is it about this kid that people are raving about? Because, I don't get it. What is it? I was watching the game, and I was like, this is pretty much, the most basic quarterback plays. Every good play he had, he was throwing checkdowns. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do about this? That was just lame. I don't know. I feel like I'm alone on a hill with that take, but that's the way I feel. All right, so we will be back on Wednesday night. This was episode 60. Hell yeah. Cheers to that.
69.
Can't wait for 69 is going to be an awesome episode. We'll have so many special guests.
Let that be our 1-year
anniversary. Maybe we'll get Johnny Sins on the podcast. I can't confirm nor deny.
All right, we'll see you guys on Wednesday.